Hello, so today I am going to discuss just some like real basic beginner playing worship keys. We want to make this accessible. It doesn't need to be as hard as it sounds. So first off, I'm going to assume, and I'll probably do another video on this, but I'm going to assume to some extent that you know that each of the notes in a scale have a number that you can assign to them in order to think about the chords in the scale, the scale factor notes, etc. So we are gonna hang around mostly in C because that's just white keys, and it makes it's a really good place to start. And then I'm gonna start off just assuming you know this, but like the quickest rundown. If we are in the key of C, then our number one chord is C major, and then we just make these little triads going all the way up to get all of our chords in this key. So our number two chord is a D minor, our number three chord is an E minor, our number four chord is an F major, 5 is G major, 6 is A minor, and then 7 is this B diminished chord that you will probably not use much. All right, so in worship music, you can use any of these chords, but the main ones that you use in worship and pop, honestly, are gonna be your 1, your 4, your 5, and then your 6 minor. So if you focus on 1, 4, 5, 6 minor, then you're gonna be in decent shape for a lot of songs. You can start playing. I think it's more fun when you actually can start playing, and then you can, you get to a song that has a 2 minor, you just like learn that chord and you add it in. And that's how I learned and grew. I kind of started with basic first position chords, and then I just was like, oh, here's another thing to add in, and that's how you learn and grow. You don't need to be proficient at everything to start playing. All right, so the big thing that I want to talk about today is that when we first learn these chords, we learn them in the first position. So we learn them how I just played them, where your one chord, C major, has your C here in the bottom with your thumb. And then your 4 is up here with the F on the bottom right here in your thumb. Your 5, your G is in your thumb right here. And then your 6, the A here on your thumb, right? So that's how we tend to learn chords, and that works really well for songs that are slower. You can just start there. Honestly, that is where I started, all right? Just playing all the chords where the name of the chord was always where my thumb was, or my right thumb. So a song like Reckless Love, actually, this works beautifully. I honestly think it sounds better that way. So if you were to play Reckless Love in the key of C, you'd have A minor, G, F, C, and it's pretty easy to move there, right? Overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. And honestly, I will still play this song this way because I kind of like how that kind of cascade down sounds. So we do that. Chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't turn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. And that song is literally those 4 chords the entire time. The verses, you only play the first 3. 1, 2, 3, and then the chorus, you add the 4. It's over and over again. It's a great song. Honestly, Reckless Love, beautiful song. Love that song. Start with that song if you are learning. Just play Reckless Love 500 billion times. All right, now Before I get too far into the fun things we can do over here to make things a little bit easier, I do want to mention that what you can do with your left hand, honestly, just play octaves. If you want, sometimes I'll play fifths, but a lot of the time in my left, I'm just playing octaves. So C and C here. And like, honestly, just start there. Don't worry about doing anything else with your left hand. Play octaves. So, and this will help us with our next step. So let's play Reckless Love chorus, or just like the beginning of the chorus again to illustrate that. So, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. Cool. And now you are already adding to your worship team that doesn't necessarily have a keyboard player. Maybe you're playing aux keys and you're just playing some synths like that, you know, just play your little synth sounds like that and just keep doing it, and that is awesome sauce. All right, but what happens when we have a song that has faster chords? Or maybe you want to be able to not stare down at your keyboard. You don't want to play like, you know, like that, and you want to be able to look up a little bit more. So this is, honestly, this changed my life. We're going to learn how to play different, I guess you would say, voicings, different positions. So every chord is that we're talking about just these triads. All right, that means 3 notes: 1, 2, 3. You're 1, you're 3, and you're 5. Okay. So playing these triads, everything can be played in this root position, call it root position, where your thumb is on the 1, or you can move over and play your 3, 5, and then you stick your 1 up here on your pinky, right? Or you can play the 5, and there's the 1, and there's your 3. So those are all a C chord, all right? But they have something different in the thumb. The cool thing is that because you're using your left hand over here to play whatever is your root, you're still going to have that 1 feel. Your C feel is at the bottom. So if you play this, it still feels like a C with the 1 in the bottom because the 1 is over here. It still feels like that, and it still feels like that. Now, they all have a slightly different feel to them, but you can just go ahead and learn different positionings so that you can just jump in and play. And this is where we're going to get to patterns. Patterns are the most important thing, I think. So if I am playing here, we're going to play all of our chords that we typically play. So our 1, which is C major, our 4 is F major, our 5 is G major, and our 6 is A minor. So we're going to play all of them, but we're going to leave our hand right here. And this is all about patterns, like I said. So our 1, our thumb is anchoring right here on the 1. Right? Now, as you grow and like get to be better and better and better, you're not going to anchor here forever. Just don't worry about that. But for now, anchor there. Now, if you want to play a 5 chord, if you're going to play this G chord, all you have to do is move your fingers a teeny tiny bit. You put your half step down here with your thumb, and then you press this 2 right here, and that's a G. So you went from 1, and then just half step down with your thumb, and then a whole step down with your whatever you're playing in the middle. I switched it to my pinky or my pointer because it's easier. So 1, C major, 5, G major. And remember, I know you see there's this B here, but we're still playing our octave over here. Now let's say you want to play your 4. Here's your 1. Play your 4, you're just going to move your pinky and your middle finger up. So your pinky goes up a whole step, and your middle finger goes up a half step. See? You have your C, F, A. And we're still playing over here. That's your 4. C, F, A. So we went from 1, and we just moved these guys over to 4. Now you already have 3 chords and you barely moved your hand. So you have 1, you have 5, you have 4, then you can go back to your 1. All right, now you ask me, but you said, Tiffany, that the 6 minor is going to be very important, and it is. And the 6 minor is honestly your 6 minor is the easiest thing to play because you don't have to move your right hand at all. This is honestly how I play my 6 minor. I will play the 1 chord in my right hand, and I will play my minor root in my left hand. You see here how I have this A, C, E. That's my triad, right? Now, if you want just A minor, just pick up your pinky, don't put it down. There you go, beautiful. If you want, a lot of songs will call for it, and it's just kind of fun flavor to put your 7 here. So you don't have to pick up the pinky. You can just play all of that. And you hear that there's like a little bit of a fun something to it. This is your minor 7 chord. This is the A minor 7. In general, don't worry about 7s, 6s. If you see a chart and there's a 7 or a 6 on it, just ignore it for now. You can add it later. But it's also okay to add 7s and 6s sometimes, and 2s and things like that. For the funsies, it adds flavor. And for the case of the 6 minor chord, it's just easier. So, hey, there we go. So now let's play Reckless Love with this hand position. So, oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it I messed up. Chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't turn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Here we go, 6 minor, and 5, and 4, and 1, and into the instrumental. This is our A minor 7, G, F, C. There you go. And you see how my hand, it didn't have to move a whole time. And this makes it a lot easier to play different songs. Here's an example. I'm going to show you Oceans. Oceans, I normally play in the key of D, which is I think the original key, but we'll try to see if I can handle it in C for a second without my brain being like, no, you have to play the other chords. So, here we go. Oceans goes like this. Now I'll sing the chorus for you. Here you go. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. So if you were to play that without using these positions, you'd have to move your hands pretty fast, honestly. And this is why I learned how to do this, is because I couldn't move my hands fast enough. So I don't be over here, I'd be like, you call me out, and then you have to like move really fast from call me out upon the water. And it's not that fast, like, but when you're first starting out, that's like chord every beat for like a little second there. That's a lot, right? So learn these positions. All right, now I've hung out in the key of C this entire time because you can hang out in the key of C for as long as you want. Every keyboard, I think, I mean, I guess there might be an exception somewhere, but almost every keyboard that you have is going to have a transpose key on it somewhere, okay? I'm not sure if this is showing in the video, but on this Nord, it's right here, and I press it, and then I think I turn this one to change it. So plus or minus semitones. A semitone is a semitone is a half note, right? So a semitone would be like C to C sharp. So right now we are at -2. So if I'm playing in C, I'm gonna go -2, 1, 2. So this would be currently in the key of B flat or A sharp, depending on your notes. So you can play in C. It is okay to use the transpose button. I still use the transpose button when I have to play it in a key that I don't play in very frequently, okay? Because we're talking about worship music here. I want to, when I am playing in front of the congregation, I want to be able to lead them into worship. And if I'm worrying about how on earth do I play in the key of D flat, it has been so long, oh my goodness, then I'm not in the space of worship as much as I would like to be, personally me. So I know there are people out there who will be like, you can't just hit the transpose button. It's okay. If you use an app like Sunday Keys, which I love and I use every single week that I play, you can set it up so that each song has its own little like patch, and it's set already ahead of time to play. You don't even have to think about semitones. You can say, I want to play in C because that's what I'm comfortable in. And you can say, hey app, click, make it sound like it's in the key of A. So use the transpose key. It's totally fine. Personally, I would suggest something like Sunday Keys because then you just hit the song and you don't have to think every single song, hit my transpose and then change it. But you know, make a note on your chart. Just say, I need to go +2 semis here so that you remember, okay? So I will give you one more like kind of playthrough on Reckless Love really quick. But one thing I want to say is the reason that we learn these patterns, like I said, this is a pattern and that's why it matters. This pattern of if you keep your thumb anchored here on the C, on your 1, you can play your 1 chord, there's your 5 chord, and there's your 4 chord, and then your 6 is right here. You just play it and play your left hand up, right? The reason that we talk about this pattern is because you can do this pattern anywhere on the keyboard, okay? So if you enjoy playing in the key of D, which I do because Oceans is the first song that I really started playing this with, you can anchor here on D. There's your 1 chord. In the key of D, your 4 chord is a G. There's your 4 chord. In the key of D, your 5 chord is an A. You see how my thumb just moved half a step down, right? In the middle key, move down a whole step. And then your B minor, there's your B minor 7, right? You can do it in any key. C, F. In the key of F, you go down to C for your 5. In the key of F, B flat, right, would be your 4. In the key of F, your 6 is D minor, like that. So the only thing you have to remember is the number, half step or whole step. But I will say, it's easier if you know all of your key signatures, like if you can play your scales and you know which keys are in your scale, then it almost becomes automatic. and this is down the road. Don't worry about too hard about this now. But because I know that when I'm playing in the key of D, there is a C sharp in that key, there is an F sharp in that key. So it's D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. When I go to play my 5, I know that I can't be going to this. This isn't in that key, right? So I know, and it becomes a muscle memory thing. If you want, honestly, do this. In whatever key you want to play in. And muscle memory it. Okay? My muscle memory knows, and my brain knows that in the key of D, if I'm going up, I have these keys, are all, these notes are all in that key. So I'm not like hitting something weird that's kind of fun, but that's not in that key. Okay. I'm gonna give you one final note before I play that last song. And I wanna tell you this, and I don't want you to think about it too hard. Just like, let it sit in the back of your brain. You don't have to play all the notes. Typically speaking, you're playing with a band. Now, I have led worship literally just myself on a keyboard or on a guitar, you know. So when you get to that point, you're gonna be thinking about what sounds right and everything like that. But if you're playing with a band, you don't need to hit all the notes because someone else is hitting those notes too, okay? So if you want, you can play like, you know, just 2 notes. It's not a full triad. You don't need that right now. If you want, you play just those. Maybe you feel like this is kind of like a power chord. Maybe you feel like that feels better, right? Maybe you don't want to stretch your fingers all the way over. You know, you're just learning and you're like, I'll play the F like this with just with that. Maybe I'll just leave the A out. Someone else can handle the A, you know? And so on. Okay, we'll play Reckless Love one last time for the funsies. All right, here we go, Reckless Love. I'm gonna start it with the cascade, with hitting each in the root position, and then I will switch to playing it here. That'll be fun. Detail-oriented person may notice that I played a sus chord in there, and we'll talk about that another time. All right, I hope this is helpful. Bye.